Deuteronomy chapter 7. God's chosen people. When the Lord your God has brought you into the land which you are entering to take possession of, when he drives away before you many peoples, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations that are much more numerous and more powerful than you. And when he has given them into your hand and you defeat them, you must completely destroy them. You shall not make any covenant with them or make any concession to them. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your daughters to their sons, or taking their daughters for your sons, because they would seduce your children to abandon me, and adore the gods for which the anger of the Lord would blaze out against you, and he would quickly exterminate you. On the contrary, this is what you must do. Destroy their altars and smash their sacred pillars into pieces. Demolish their sacred poles and set fire to their idols. For you are a people consecrated to the Lord your God. The Lord has chosen you from among all the peoples on the face of the earth, that you may be his own people. The Lord has bound himself to you and has chosen you, not because you are the most numerous among all peoples. On the contrary, you are the least of all peoples. Rather, he has chosen you because of his love for you, and to fulfill the oath he made to your fathers. Therefore, with a firm hand the Lord ransomed you from slavery and from the power of Pharaoh in Egypt. So realize that the Lord your God is indeed a true and faithful God. He is loyal to his covenant, and his love reaches to the 1,000th generation of those who love and fulfill his commandments. But he punishes in their own persons those who hate him, and he repays them without delay. So observe the commandments, the statutes, and the norms that today I command you to put into practice. Rewards for obedience. If you listen to these norms and careful to put them into practice, the Lord will be faithful to his covenant and will show you the steadfast love he promised on oath to your fathers. He will love you, bless you, and multiply you. He will bless you with many children and abundant harvest, grain, wine, and oil. He will multiply the offspring of your cattle and the young ones of your sheep in the land that he promised on oath to your fathers he would give you. You shall be blessed above all the peoples. There will be no sterile male or female among your people or in your livestock. The Lord will remove from you all illness. He will not inflict on you any of the sicknesses of Egypt which you have known, but he will reserve them for those who hate you. So destroy all the peoples which the Lord your God will put into your power. You shall not have pity on them or serve their gods. This would be a trap for you. Perhaps you will say in your heart, these nations are more numerous than I. How then am I going to dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them. Remember carefully what the Lord your God has done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians. Those terrible trials which you saw with your own eyes, and the signs and portents, the firm hand and the outstretched arm with which the Lord your God freed you. He will do the same to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. The Lord will even send wasps to destroy those who survive and hide themselves to escape from you. You shall not let them terrify you, because the Lord your God is in your midst. He is a great and awesome God. It is he who will drive out these nations little by little before your eyes. If you were to destroy them all at once, the wild beast will multiply and cause you trouble. The Lord your God will give these people over to you, and he will vex them with great troubles until they are all exterminated. The Lord will give their kings into your hands, so that you may wipe out their name from under heaven, and nothing will stand before you until you have exterminated them. Burn the images of their gods. Do not covet the gold or silver that covers them, and not take it for yourself, lest you be trapped by it, because the Lord detests it. No such detestable thing shall enter your house, for as it is under the curse of destruction, the curse might come upon you. Treat it as something completely loathsome and detest it wholeheartedly, for it is under the curse of destruction. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Exhortations to fidelity. Be careful to put into practice the whole commandment which I enjoin on you today, so that you may have life and increase in numbers, and take possession of the land which the Lord promised on oath to your fathers. Keep in mind the long road along which the Lord your God brought you through the desert these 40 years. He humbled you to test you and know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. He humbled you and made you experience want. He made you experience hunger, but he gave you manna to eat, which neither you nor your fathers had known, to make you realize that one lives not on bread alone, but on every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Your garments did not even fray or your feet blister all these 40 years. Understand then that the Lord your God disciplines you in the same way that a father disciplines his child. Observe the commandments of the Lord your God, follow his ways and revere him, for the Lord your God will bring you into that good land, a land of streams and rivers, of subterranean waters that gush forth in the valleys and mountains, a land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees, of pomegranates and olives, a land of oil and honey, a land where the food you eat is not rationed and where you will lack nothing, a land whose stones are iron, whose mountains have mines of copper. When you have eaten and are satisfied, then you shall bless the Lord your God for the fertile land he has given you. So take care that you do not forget the Lord your God by neglecting his commandments, his norms, and his statutes which I enjoin on you today. And when you have eaten and are satisfied, when you have built beautiful homes and are living in them, when your livestock have multiplied, when you have silver and gold in abundance, and an increase of good things of every kind, then do not let your heart become proud, and do not forget the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of slavery. It is he who led you across the great and terrible desert, that arid and waterless land, full of fiery serpents and scorpions. For you he made water gush forth from the hardest rock. And he fed you in the desert with manna which your fathers had never known, to humble you and to test you and make your future prosperous. Do not say in your heart, with my own strength and power I have attained all this wealth. Remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gave you power to acquire this wealth, thus fulfilling at this time the covenant he had promised under oath to your fathers. But if you indeed forget the Lord your God and follow other gods, if you serve them and prostrate yourself before them, I warn you right now that you will surely perish, in the same way that the Lord is destroying the nations that stand in your way. So will he destroy you if you disobey the Lord your God. Psalm chapter 74. Plea in time of national calamity. O God, have you rejected us forever? Why vent your anger on the sheep of your own fold? Remember the people you formed long ago, the tribe you have redeemed as your inheritance. Remember Mount Zion where you once lived. Climb to the deserted place, to the ruins of the sanctuary left by the enemy. Your foes have rode in your holy place and set up their banner of victory. They comported like men wielding axes to cut through a line of trees. They smashed the carved paneling with hatchets and hammers. They defiled your sanctuary and set aflame the dwelling place of your name, razing it to the ground. They said in fury, let us destroy them, and demolish every shrine of God in the land. With no signs and no prophets, no one can tell how long this will last. How long, O God, will the foe blaspheme? How long will the enemy revile your name? Why do you hold back your right hand? Why keep your hand hidden? Yet, O God, my King, for ages past, you have brought salvation to the earth. You divided the sea by your power. You broke the monsters in the water. You crushed the heads of Leviathan and gave him as food to the dolphins. You opened up rivers and springs and dried up ever-flowing streams. You own the day, you own the night, the sun and all that gives light, who made them but you. You fixed the earth's borders and created the seasons. Remember, O Lord, how the lawless scoff at your name, how the enemy laughs at you. Do not hand over the life of your dog to the vulture. Do not forget the life of the poor whom you love. Have regard for your covenant, for violence lurks in the dark caves of the land. Do not let the oppressed be put to shame. May the poor and needy praise your name. Arise, O God, and defend your cause against the day-long blasphemy of evildoers. Do not forget the clamor of your foes, the continuous uproar of your enemies. Mark chapter 14, verse 27 to 53. Peter's denial foretold. After singing psalms of praise, they went out to the Mount of Olives, and Jesus said to them, all of you will fall away, for the scripture says, I will strike the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered. But after I am raised up, I will go to Galilee ahead of you. Then Peter said to him, even though all the others fall away, I will not. And Jesus said to him, truly I say to you, today, this very night, before the cock crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. But Peter insisted, even if I must die with you, I will never deny you. And all of them said the same. The agony in the garden. They came to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, sit here while I pray. But he took Peter, James, and John along with him, and as he became deeply distressed and troubled, he said to them, my soul is full of sorrow even to death. Remain here and stay awake. Then he went a little further on and fell to the ground, praying that if possible the hour might pass by him. And Jesus said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me, yet not what I will, but what you will. He came back and found them asleep and said to Peter, Simon, are you sleeping? Could you not stay awake for even 1 hour? Keep watch and pray so that you may not fall into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And going away he prayed, saying the same words. When he came back to the disciples, he found them asleep again. They could not keep their eyes open, and they did not know what to say to him. When he came back the 3rd time, he said, are you still sleeping and resting? Enough. The time has come. The Son of Man is now being betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us go. Look, the one betraying me is right here. The betrayal and arrest of Jesus. While Jesus was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, came up. With him was a mob armed with swords and clubs, who had been sent by the chief priests, the teachers of the law and the elders. The traitor had arranged a signal for them. The one I shall kiss is the man. Arrest him and take him away under guard. So when he came, he went directly to Jesus, calling him Master, and kissed him. Then they seized Jesus and arrested him. One of the bystanders drew his sword and struck at the high priest's servant, cutting off his ear. Jesus turned to them, saying, have you said that as against a robber? Did you need swords and clubs to arrest me? Day after day I was among you teaching in the temple, and you could have arrested me. But let the scriptures be fulfilled. Then they all deserted and fled. A young man wearing nothing but a linen cloth followed Jesus, As they took hold of him, he left the cloth in their hands and ran away naked. Jesus before the Sanhedrin. They led Jesus to the high priest, and all the chief priests assembled with the elders and the teachers of the law.